Hello, I'm Gregg Miller. I'm the Jazz Program Manager for Centrum's Jazz Port Townsend Workshop and Festival, and we're standing outside the schoolhouse, which is one of the hubs of activity for the Jazz Workshop. There are about a dozen rooms in this schoolhouse, out of which are pouring music from every window. There are combos in every different room here, being led by this outstanding faculty that we have here this week. And so you'll hear lots of different tunes as we're talking here, probably, and maybe a sort of a mishmash of sounds and sights. So this is the second full day of the workshop. Things are in full swing here. Everybody has been placed in a combo, and they've been working hard for the last day and a half, learning tunes, starting to polish some of the rough edges off them. They're all getting ready for performances which happen on Thursday night through the weekend, so they all have plenty to do in a relatively short amount of time. In addition to these combos that they're playing in right now, they go to master classes every day. They just got done with those earlier in the afternoon. Those are where specific instruments and vocal teachers all gather together to talk about the specifics of their instrument and things that they all have in common, technique problems or challenges, and maybe new fingerings, new ideas about how to make notes, or sometimes just new ideas about musicianship in general. So they're getting a pretty wide variety of input and a pretty intensive atmosphere. So one of the things that we do here that is common to all of the major workshops that we do at Centrum is that we have these workshops that are focused on learning, and then those blend in at the end of the week towards a festival which is more about performing. So I mentioned a little bit earlier the workshop participants will all be performing, but also this fantastic faculty that we have here will be performing in two different venues, one at the McCurdy Pavilion on our main stage shows, and then also our Jazz in the Clubs, which is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. It's a very important part of the workshop and festival. It's actually one of the things that makes us, if not quite unique, at least almost unique in the whole Northwest, that we have a festival that is very much focused on having jazz in the clubs. If you're a jazz fan, you know that that's really where jazz became developed. We kind of grew out of performances in more intimate venues like clubs, and then gradually became more of a concert music. So we like to think that we're presenting all of the above, both the concert music and the big stage, and also the jazz in the more original venue in a small club. John Clayton is our artistic director for the Jazz Port Townsend Festival and Workshop, and he's been doing this for 5 years now. Last year he said to me, "Greg, let's do something. Let's really shake it up next year. Let's have a whole bunch of new faces." I said, "Great, let's do that." So he contacted a lot of people that he worked with over the last several years, and has focused a lot on getting fresh new faces on the faculty and on the main stage and the clubs. So we have over half of our 30 faculty this year are brand new as faculty members, and so that's brought a real breath of fresh air and new energy to the workshop. A lot of them are quite young. They're relatively earlier in their careers, but they're definitely people who are on a quick upward trajectory right now. So we feel like we're really lucky to get them at this point in their career when they're still available, frankly. So if you want to hear some great music this weekend, this is definitely the place to be to come and hear some jazz. Earlier in the summer, the Hood Canal Bridge was under repair, but it's completely fixed now, totally open for traffic. It's easy to get here. And we have some great concerts starting on Friday. Well, on Thursday evening we have some jazz in the clubs, but the main stage gets underway on Friday evening. We have two sets, one led by Gretchen Parlato, a wonderful young vocalist. The other is Ambrose Akinmuzire, an outstanding young trumpeter, and they'll both be accompanied by the Gerald Clayton Trio. Gerald Clayton is actually, John Clayton's son, is a fantastic pianist who's been winning awards right and left, so we're really excited about that. Saturday afternoon, the main stage kicks into gear again, and at the Little Field Green outside the McCurdy Pavilion, there's open seating there's plenty of room to come and sit outside in the sunshine, listen to jazz pouring out of the big balloon hanger doors. There'll be food there and a beer and wine garden, and actually people can bring in their own bottle of wine or glass of beer or picnic lunch and anything you want to enjoy while you're sitting out on the grass. Listen to music. We have 3 sets for you on the Saturday afternoon concert. The first one is a guitar trio, 3 great guitarists with a rhythm section. The second is Benny Green doing a tribute to Oscar Peterson, and that's going to be a real highlight, I know. Benny Green had a really close relationship with Oscar Peterson, has learned a lot from him over the years, so that's going to be a real highlight. And then it's going to finish off with a 5 trombone plus rhythm section band. That is going to be a rollicking good time. Trust me, you're going to like that one. Then there'll be free music by participant combos in between that main stage show and the 7:30 main stage show. So the music will be non-stop, starting at about 12:30 all the way through 9:30. There'll be music either outside the green, or outside the pavilion, or inside the pavilion. So lots and lots of music on Saturday. People sometimes ask me when they see how complex this week is, and it really is pretty complex. Man, how do you do this? Isn't it tiring to put all this together? Well, the answer is yes, but it's also a lot of fun. I get to talk to some of the best musicians in the world, some of the greatest jazz musicians on the planet. I get to talk with these people, share ideas with them, find out what they like and what they're excited about. So that's a lot of fun. I have great colleagues at Centrum. Centrum's a wonderful place to work in that way. So even though it's a lot of work, it's definitely worth it. It takes about a whole year to plan one of these things. At the opening meeting, I always tell the participants that this is the fruition of 51 weeks of work, and which is true, but this is also the most fun week of the year because I get to see all that hard work actually turn into music. So it's not a computer anymore, it's not an email anymore, it's actually music, and that's a lot of fun. So people sometimes ask me, hey, how about doing a workshop in Seattle or Spokane or some other city? How about taking Centrum on the road and putting on a workshop in another location? And, and we have found over the years, many people come to us at the end of a week of workshops here, and they say, this experience of being here at Fort Worden is just transformative. And we've found that there's something about being here at Fort Worden that gets people outside of their everyday lives. They're away from their telephone, they're mostly away from their email, away from their jobs. They get to be, for a solid week, doing nothing but their art form. In this case, of course, it's jazz music. But there's something that's really powerful about focusing only on that for the whole week. It's like a gift to yourself. If you're passionate about your music, it's a gift to yourself to be able to do that. And plus, this is a beautiful location. I always tell people how lucky I am to be able to work at Fort Worden State Park. That's where my office is. There's a beach here. In the summertime, the weather's warm and beautiful. There's 440-acre state park. It's one of the crown jewels of the whole Washington State Park system. And we get to be here all week playing jazz. Blue skies, sunshine, music pouring out of every window. What more could there be? It's been great having a chance to talk to you a little bit today. My name's Gregg Miller. I'm the program manager for the Jazz Workshop and Festival here in Port Townsend at Centrum. If we see you this week, it would be great. If we don't see you this week, we'd love to see you next year, either as a participant or an audience member. We've got something for everybody. Thanks very much.